What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stirfry. I'm Chef T.
I'm Will the Spacekid.
All right, let's get this episode started. So today we are going to be talking about fashion trends and kind of how it changed in the music industry and all around.
For sure.
So, Will, it is crazy to see the trend of styles that are coming to especially the rap community. We're talking like Trippie Redd, MGK, like these people look like rock stars.
Yeah, things have definitely changed. Even if you look at, some of the people that my age group would consider pioneers, such as the influence of Kanye West, T.I., and Lil Wayne, even if you look at how they changed fashion as a whole, it's even crazy.
I mean, shit, like Kanye was the dude in the pink polo.
Yeah. But so I think T.I. changed fashion in the same way that Kanye West did, but down south. I think T.I. is, he has the same impact down south. He took people out of those baggy clothes and said, hey, we're going to get some nice button downs and, get the wrinkles out those button downs and we're going to look fly. That's what we're going to do. It's just having that influence. Like, that influence is like big.
Yeah, and because the 2000s and the early 2000s, that was just a crazy time to begin with all. Man, I remember there was a time in high school I was super into the baggy jeans, I will never forget. I didn't wear a belt, because I was like, all right, I'm sagging my pants, like it's all cool, and the principal was like, are you kidding me? Your pants are too low. They're hanging fucking to your ankles, and they made me go. They took a shoestring and tied it around my waist.
So my thing is, like, I always did, like, wear the belt even when, like, stuff was baggy. But, like, I definitely...
I should have wore a belt, yeah.
I mean, I know what you're saying, though. You want to wear the baggy pants. You want to wear the long T-shirts, like...
Because that's what was hot, man.
Yeah, it was hot. It was fly. That's what everybody was doing. But, yeah, as far as, like, just the influence of... music has a big influence on fashion. It always has, and it always will be. We look at these celebrities, they're so talented, and it reaches a point where, like, kids want to dress like them, adults want to dress like them. And, I mean, adults, they might make it a little bit, more subtle, like, oh, I saw him, wear those glasses in that outfit. I'm just going to take the glasses, because I saw that celebrity wear it. But with kids, it becomes, like, whole identity, like, I want to be just like this person.
So they buy all the same shit. That's the power of these, like, retail companies comes in, because these kids want to be like them. And I heard somewhere that majority of these famous celebrities, they don't really dress themselves. Like, they have a personal stylist that dresses them in the brands that are making them money,
Most, even NBA players now, like, the world is a lot different. Between NBA players and, hip-hop superstars, I mean, well, just music superstars in general, a lot of these people, they have, these stylists. Like, everybody's hiring a stylist. Everybody wants to be, the freshest person at these
that's what makes
red
money.
Carpet events. And then plus, you show up to these red carpet events, super fly, and, everything is good. I mean, you're bound to get a sponsorship or get, recognized by these big magazines and, possibly could land the front cover. So, it's an investment. Like, being fly is definitely an investment. And if you had the money, why not? Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy that they're bringing things back in style. Like, I feel like the idea of fashion is so crazy to me because people can define trends. You have one person doing it, okay, maybe they're not going to catch on. But when you have, like, 3 or 4 celebrities doing it, it will catch on. And it's crazy to me that these brands can kind of make fads in a way and make trends. Like, if this brand wants to bring these shoes back, they pay fucking Travis Scott, Kanye, or whatever these people are, and then people are gonna buy that regardless of.
A lot of things plays into
if they like
right now. What's popping is like hype beasts, but the whole thing about hype beasts is such a mixture of retro items and new items, and it's creating like this new flavor. Like, for the audience that might not be familiar with the whole like hype beast community, it's just something you kind of got to look up for. It's really difficult to explain, but it's it's a huge mixture between like 90s clothing, 80s clothing, and kind of what's popping now, and not being too baggy about it. It's almost like you're dressing like what you would think a rapper from the 90s would look like, but not fully. So that's where
Right.
I say it's that gray space of like hard to define the whole like hype beast era. Like when you see Kanye West tennis shoes, like that's the hype beast era. Like people want to be a part of that.
Whereas, yeah, if it was like the like 80s and shit, people are paying more attention to. I feel like shoes are shoes are the main hype beast attire.
Yeah.
Like the shoes is everything.
But so you have a cross between new things where like you look at the Supreme headbands. What make the Supreme headband so crazy is like it's super thick. Before people were wearing like smaller headbands, they might say Nike, they might play basketball. We look up a couple years later, people are like, headband's not really a thing. Then boom, between the Bape headband and the Supreme headband drop, and people are wearing headbands everywhere. They're like, oh, I would like a headband if it's super thick. I'll wear it. When you look at the jet ski goggles, like you see a couple rappers, pop off with it, from a Lil Uzi Vert, from a Rich the Kid, from a Lil Wayne. People like, oh yeah, the jet ski goggles. If they're Gucci, I'll wear them. I'm swagged out. People gonna know, like, I spent the bag when I step in the club. Like, these are Gucci. Like
Right.
stop hating.
Yeah, and trends like that, like you wouldn't think would be a trend, but they are in fashion because. And what's crazy to me though is that people are taking these different generations and different eras from rock star, where you got people like in between this rock star and goth phase, but they're rappers.
Yeah,
It's like the same shit that like Green Day was wearing, and fucking. Like Trippie Redd dresses like he's a rock star from like the 80s, 90s.
that goes back to kind of what I was about with like pioneers. So Trippie Redd and Uzi, I feel like are
X.
that new what I want to say. Basically, I feel like they have a strong influence from Wayne. Wayne was that person, like
He was that skater.
when you watch
He was that skater influence. So.
yeah. I feel like it was skater, but it was also that rock look, like
yeah.
allowing it, because it before like Wayne, it wasn't a rapper in hip hop with such a big voice willing to take those risks and say, you know what, I'm going to wear the choker tonight. You know what, I'm going to come out with that rock star energy, that rock star look. Even if you look at like the
He was like the OG of skinny jeans. Too.
Yeah, like,
he was
yes.
skinny jean Supras, like.
When you look at the Lollipop video and you compare it to like everybody's music video at that time, it looks crazy. Like, but he looks like a superstar. And the thing is, he's so talented. You're like, wow, this is. I really like this. This is a vibe. This is whether or not you would wear like those same type of clothes, you just have no choice but to respect it because the talent is so high. And although it's new and it's different, you're kind of like. I'm with it. I like it's something interesting about this person. And then now I think because of people like Lil Wayne taking those risks, you could have Lil Uzi do it easily. You could have Trippie Redd, show up wearing like the type of clothes he wears, no problem. But somebody has to take that risk first. Like that's just how it is always.
Yeah, like I'm sure. Can we talk about Young Thug? Like this motherfucker wears dresses. I don't know if his goal was just to be like some Dennis Rodman type shit in hip hop, or it was just to be like that weird dude.
So I watched a lot of interviews on Young Thug. I definitely used to think at one point in time like Young Thug was questionable, but I think it's just like I think he reached a point of where like I'm gonna get this money regardless. Like whatever has to happen. It's going to happen. So between, him wearing a dress, him drawing attraction to his brand, and also the world is so much more open-minded. So he's doing this at a time of like the 2000s, like, so between like 2013 to like now, we basically seen Young Thug, blossom as an artist. And what better time to wear the dress than this period of time? The world is open-minded. Yeah. When you say something, is gay, or you say something is, dudes shouldn't wear a dress, it comes with a lot of backlash now. So you have to be careful with your words in general. So he picked the right time. Yeah. If it was, 1998, he would get chewed up and spit out from the whole hip hop industry. But he found a time where he knew it would be acceptable or reasonable, and he found a demographic to accept it and kept it moving, and he was able to go on interviews and explain that he's not he's not gay or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, you see, it's a time. It's a totally different time, and now you see like Lil Uzi having a purse. You
Yeah, I
see
mean,
these
like we even
fanny
have
packs.
we have a gay rapper like Lil Nas. Like he announced it. Still doing records. Still,
Right.
kids are still watching his videos.
Which is amazing, like that we're in a time like
Yeah,
this.
that's pretty.
'Cause
It's pretty interesting. Like just because like not that long ago, like it just wouldn't have went down. It couldn't
yeah,
have happened. Like,
yeah,
but now people are a lot more open minded to, is this person talented? Is
because
this
it
person
shouldn't be that.
likable?
Yeah, because it moved away from who they are as like an individual being the front runner of decision making to whether to listen to them, and it's been more of like, okay, they're talented. That this stuff doesn't matter.
That was so
It has no
interesting.
concern.
Is that music has demasculated so much. Like, so you went from the ideal person of like 50 Cent, like the hip hop artists, they need to be in the gym, they need to be, buff, arrogant, real masculine, not really, doing anything feminine, to now where it's like you might see Lil Uzi with a man purse and it's okay. Do I
Right.
like his song or do I not like his song? You can see the room for, like I said, like, oh, he's gay, but is he talented? Like that's what I want to know. Is he talented? Does he make good music
Yeah,
for me to
that's the only
listen
thing
to?
that really matters.
You went from like, dude, you can't smile. Like, why are you smiling? Like, that's not going to sell records. You need to be tough. When they see you, they need to see a sense of gritty. To you got Chance the Rapper, like, yeah, be as happy as you want to.
Yeah, you're
If you're a
allowed.
happy person, just be you, make good music, and it's going to work out for you.
Yeah, and I think we're like exactly with all that goes into fashion so much too. It's like you don't have to be a certain way. I'm sure back in the early 2000s to the 90s, like if you want to be in the hip hop genre, you need the baggy pants. You need the. This
Yeah.
is what people like to be in this genre. Like now it's like, oh, you want to wear. People wear whatever they want. For instance, you have a damn astronaut helmet
Right.
that you used to perform. That's totally different than you think that you could have wore that when you're in like the early 2000s. People would have been like, is this a joke? Or
Yeah, see,
just having the ability to just go off, do off the wall shit is just, it's so much more acceptable now.
yeah, I mean, so even with like the two, to kind of like, I guess, piggyback off that question. So in the early 2000s, I actually kind of don't know. I would say the 90s would be a no.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I would say the 90s would be a for sure no, because it's just like certain hip hop that's going on. It's not that many different things going on. But when you look at early 2000s, you have Kanye West coming out. You have Andre 3000. Is these people like kind of like breaking the glass of just like,
Well, Andre 3000 was kind of that weird guy.
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a cross between like Andre. So Andre 3000 obviously stands out. If we're listening to DMX, we're listening to 50 Cent, and you play Andre 3000, and then on top of that, you're watching television and you're looking at all three of their like music videos. You're kind of like, yeah, DMX, 50 Cent, they're on the same page. Andre 3000 kind of like, it's different.
Right.
I don't think it's corny, but it's also not what I see every day. But you're like, the next day, I want to listen again. Hey, what's that Andre 3000 song? You kind of like, so I don't know, maybe the astronaut helmet in the early 2000s might have like been a part of like something to break the glass. But yeah, as far as like performances and, anything I do is kind of like, my main thing is to just be different, stand out, make a memorable performance, whether that's between me getting, dancers, anything. Like I remember I was watching a show, it was some like thing on YouTube, and I guess Trinidad James was playing like he likes to come out with like two pit bulls and whatnot, and that's what he wanted. It stood out. It was something crazy. And I mean, that's just like one example of like the type of stuff, the type of energy you want to bring on stage. Because you really want to
Right.
bring yourself and your brand to life on stage. I
You
think
don't
a
just
lot
want
of
to be
artists,
another just rapper just on stage. You want to make that like a memorable experience
yeah,
for everyone. They want to be able to go home and be like, man, everyone was cool, but dude, there was this crazy ass dude in this space helmet. Like,
yes, like all type of stuff. Like you see Lil Uzi with the chokers and the vibe he spreads, and a lot of women, you know, they like that vibe. I mean, dudes as well, but I know like women like love Lil Uzi. When you have people like who's it crazy? I mean, like 6ix9ine performance was crazy. Like the kid come out with like rainbow hair, hype, energy. You know, talking that street talk. People pay money to see that. Like, oh man, this is
right,
crazy.
because he took like that street attitude
Yeah,
with like this crazy look that you would not see like thugs wearing. Like you would not see a thug or a dude that's talking all this shit wearing this hair,
yeah.
like in the streets. Like you wouldn't see that. Facts. And I think the reason why all these people are trying all this off the wall shit because it is different than other times in music because now it's so saturated that if you don't have a distinct look or you don't have a distinct style, then you're gonna get passed over.
I mean, so the whole
know?
thing is like shows are competitive. And I'm saying that from the music industry and even before you make it to the music industry. So, you know, when you look at artists performing right now, like Travis Scott is going all out from the smoke screens to the fog monitors to
the roller coaster.
the women dancing, people hitting backflips, cartwheels, Beyonce unmatched. Like by far, I will
yeah.
stand on this. Beyonce is the best performer alive. You know, I'm gonna get a little bit off topic because I want the audience to really understand this. So I feel like, you know, Chris Brown and Bruno Mars are great performers. Not to say it's other performers, but I feel like when we see Chris Brown perform and we see Bruno Mars perform, it's the Michael Jackson show. So I didn't pay money to see Michael Jackson. Granted, they're super talented. I paid money to see something new. I don't know what that new is, but I know when I watch Beyonce perform, it's new. It's fresh. This is the Beyonce show.
Yeah.
Beyonce does not put on the Patti LaBelle show. She puts on the Beyonce show. And I think Chris Brown could be the best performer if he teams up with those right choreographers and they create something new that I've never seen. Like when I see Beyonce and I see the marching band and I see the colors and I see like all the women like hair paws in the air. I'm like, it's crazy. Like I can't even say how did she come up with this, but how did the team come up with this? And they have the same amount of money, same budgets, but yet we see the Michael Jackson show every time. Like I don't like even with so when you look at like how Prince used to perform, the reason Prince gets compared to Michael Jackson is because he didn't do the Michael Jackson show. He did the Prince show.
Right.
Like you're going to see him come out in a purple suit. It's glistening. It looks crazy, and you're like, ooh man. You know what? I was hating on Prince. I don't even like Prince music, but I can't deny that was a good show. I can't sit up here and be like, you can say you don't like one Prince song, but if you try to dare say Prince wasn't a good performer, you're a liar. You're just a liar. Like, how dare you?
And exactly, but all these people, all these really crazy icons, these crazy performers, it all goes back to one thing, and it's the idea that they are being different with each thing that they're doing. They're finding a way to be new, be fresh, and be that ultra superstar. When Beyonce comes out, she's coming out in this probably handmade fucking dress. Superstar status. Michael Jackson's coming out in a fucking crazy ass suit. Glove, with that fucking glistening ass glove. Prince is coming out in that purple suit. Like these people, you don't even have to hear them perform. They come out stage and you're already like, oh my god, look at that.
And then what's so even more crazy is like it reaches a point, and it reached this point before they passed away. Like, this was way before they passed away. But it reaches a point where, like, if you're Prince or Michael Jackson for, like, you know, like, Halloween, everybody's like, when you step in the room, like, oh, you're Michael Jackson, you're Prince. You know how, like, crazy that concept is? Because before you had a point in time where, like, costumes were, what do I want to say, like, I'm about to be George Washington. I'm going to be the president. So I'm going to have, like, gray hair, and that's how they'll know I'm the president. Or, you know, I'm going to be a bumblebee. So obviously they see, like, my wings and stuff. I'm a bumblebee. Right. But these people perfected such a crazy sense of fashion, crazy sense of performance that people are like, oh, you're Michael Jackson right now.
Yep.
And to reach that level was crazy. Because there's tons of, like, you know, rappers and stuff where, like, it's kind of debatable. Like, if, I don't know, like, if somebody was to dress like, I don't know, like, Famous Dex or, like, the Baby, I feel like, or somebody like that, you know, who's, like, on a smaller status, you know, talented, but just smaller, you know, you might step in them like, dang, I think you, I don't know, dang, I can't put, like, my finger on it. But you like, dang, you like one of the rappers are saying.
Right, see, that's the thing is, like, the one thing about the other people, like, 6'9", you could tell if someone's 6'9".
Oh yeah, 6'9" costume. As soon as you walk in with the rainbow hair, like,
automatic.
You 6'9" by default. Like, you got like a grill or something, or like some tats. I
don't care if you pull like, I'm like, I just tasted the rainbow or some shit. Like, no, I know you're 6'9". Or even when Kodak had that crazy ass hair. Like,
I did see like a lot of crazy Kodak costumes.
But that was it. But that was it. Once he got rid of it, it was kind of like that was it.
Yeah.
Who else? See, those are just people. Some people I see on Halloween. You know, I could tell if you're Gucci, you got that fur coat, you got that ice cream cone tattoo. But other than that, I can't even think of actual.
It's just people that like separate. It's like we see it, we know it, and everybody knows it.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy when it's not even like it's not even like, it just reaches the point where like it's above race. It's above, because like you can reach a point with music where you're above race, you're above social status, broke or poor, whatever race, people know who you are and people identify you as a entire brand.
Right.
And those people are the Beyoncés, those are the the Michael Jacksons, the Jay-Z's. Like, it's people where like that brand is like megastar. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the different things that they do just stand out so much. People are like, dang, it's crazy. And in a way, fashion just helps that is also crazy. Like when I see who's really popping on the fashion. The NBA players, like when we see James Harden and like, the black like
OBJ
shiny pants. Oh yeah, OBJ is
like, I'm saying, he's a fashion icon.
Yeah,
and he's a football, like, that's another thing is that I feel like football players, like no football players out here flexing, like not as much as you see like an NBA player or a music artist flexing like that.
Yeah.
But like OBJ is the first like crazy fashion icon in football.
The thing is, so like with football, it's so much more competitive. So the number of players, it's way more players on the field and the practice team. So for you to stand out is crazy. Two, your shoes are also like cleats. So we're comparing granted, you can get your cleats made, I get that. Yeah. But we're comparing like cleats to like just tennis shoes in general. So that right there is already like so many ways to stand out. Then from there, you're kind of comparing like how many uniforms are actually exist right now as far as like the team uniform. And then we're comparing that to just basketball shorts. Like, I don't know, they just make basketball has always been like that sport where like we see the player, we know the player, that player is more likely to become an icon.
There's less of them.
Yeah, it's just like, that's just how it is. And I mean, when that helmet is off too, that's another thing. Like, it's just easier for like it's easier for people to just recognize like,
a basketball player, because they don't have helmets. They're not wearing like a bunch of gear under.
That would kind of be like crazy. Like basketball players had to play with a helmet. Like, like I don't know. That'd just be some like.
Who knows, the way this world's going? One day maybe. What if they combined like? What if they literally took like football outfits and you can just now. I guess that would almost be like rugby, but you can now just like pick up the basketball, just fucking
Yo,
charge at
so
somebody.
I seen this crazy tweet yesterday, and I just really like sat with it. Somebody said that Gucci is known just as much as Jesus. And I really had to like
Wait, the brand or
the
Gucci
brand.
Man? Oh, okay. I was like
The
Gucci
brand.
Man.
And I was like, word? Cause like I really was like thinking about it. I'm like, okay, Gucci, Gucci is in Italy and it's big. It's like, so then I even like looked up like biggest clothing brands and like, Louis Vuitton and like Gucci were like right there. Like,
How long's Gucci been around? When was it founded?
I don't know exactly. So, viewers don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure like I would not be surprised if Gucci came out like fresh 1900 or even before that, even like 1850. I would not be surprised. But yeah, like it's crazy to think like, because when I thought about it, so of course you want to naturally be like, nah, like bro tripping with this tweet.
Right.
But then I was really got to thinking like, I don't think I know anybody that doesn't know the Gucci brand. I can't even like when we talk about
true.
like other. So the thing, also another thing is, what I learned is every country wants to look good. Even when it comes to this like third world countries, you see all the time it's these third world countries and they get pictures of these kids wearing suits. And they ask, I watched somebody like interview before like, hey, so, your community is real messed up. You got like mud pies and you had like scraped away this money. I don't know like what happened or how you got this money. And the first thing you bought like was a suit. Why did you buy it? Like, man, I just want to look nice. Like, I'm wearing a suit every day to school. Like, they just fixed up a couple things.
All these countries, they look towards American and like Asian clothing.
I mean, I wouldn't even say
So
like
much.
American and Asian. I mean, I would definitely say American and Asian clothing, but it's just like the expensive thing. So like nationally.
But America has like originated the idea, not originated, but like obviously it's in like France and like
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was
London.
getting at. So with France, you have the high quality thread. So that's why I would say
Right.
like it's even above like American. It's just this idea around the world. Like if I'm in a suit, I'm better.
Right. All right. Yeah. Let me rephrase this. So I meant America has created the concept of every average day people buying all of this expensive stuff and all these clothes.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the idea. Is that in other, it's always been okay. Well, it's a status symbol. Like you are a millionaire, so you buy the freshest suit, you get it tailored, all this shit. You're the only one buying from Gucci. These people that are in the middle class are not, or lower class are not going to afford this. But now America has commoditized it in a way that almost that everybody wants to buy Gucci, and then they're gonna sacrifice their money to buy that more expensive thing that usually wouldn't have happened in older days, in like other places.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. So definitely in America, the whole idea is like you got a special moment coming up, so let's make it special. And the way we're gonna make it special is buy more expensive items. So you might, I don't know. Let's say you have your wedding coming up, and you could get a Ralph Lauren suit. You can get I don't know, Tommy makes some quality stuff. Keep it simple. But you're like, hey, you only get a wedding once, maybe. And from there, you're kind of just like,
Or like 5 times.
man, I want the Gucci suit. Like I gotta get the Gucci suit. Like, why not? I gotta get the Armani suit. Why not? And that's how people end up with like certain items, like you said, like more so like the middle class people, or even birthdays. Honestly, it reached the point where like it's it's your homeboy birthday. He like, yo man, we going to Saks. It's my 21st birthday. Man, I don't care how much this Burberry shirt costs. I'm getting that and the cologne. And he leaves Saks with like $500 shirt and probably like a $90 bottle of cologne. And you're like, damn, you just blew like $600. He's like, yeah, man, it's 21st. And things like this happen all the time. They make it so common because it's kind of like people created a standard of it's expensive, so it's good.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'll get it. And then if somebody matches the quality, they don't have the original logo on it, so therefore that is a fake item, or that is like what are you doing? You can't wear the knockoff version.
Yeah, like USPA
And
versus Ralph Lauren.
nobody wants to feel bad about themselves. Like dang, I can't. If I can't afford the Prada sneaker, and I don't know, like American Eagle makes a sneaker just like the Prada sneaker, like same quality, everything, and then I show up to, especially high school, it gets gritty.
Oh,
in
that's
high
where
school.
it gets real ugly.
Oh my god, you better have some jokes ready. Like
I feel like you either got to go like real or you got to just go, your shit's off brand. Like you don't get that fake shit. You just get the regular, just plain tee.
yeah, what's so interesting about like high school is so you can be the kid with all designer stuff and still take your flame session because other people have jokes ready. Or you could be the kid, with the dirty chucks, but you create your own look and your own vibe where people are like, hey, this dude is kind of swaggy. Like, this my dude, he be wearing like the dirty chucks, but like that's his vibe. He's cool people. And it's so crazy because like, one dude, like basically high school is like savage. So kind of like how I said, both of those groups of people can still get flamed. That's just how it is. Like, dude, you wear all of them dirty chucks every day. Like, don't make me get started. And it's like, you spent all that money and you still ain't got no girls. Like,
Yeah.
you spent all that money on those shirts and you're still like,
Well, I see exactly, but that's what everyone's telling. But everyone in the fashion industry is selling that you need this expensive shirt in order to be cool. Whether you're going to be cool just because you bought an expensive thing or not, maybe it's like a mental thing. You think you're cool.
Well, okay, so part of it is in the sense of that it's true, but it's not true. So an authentic Louis Vuitton belt will last. It will not rip. Mm-hmm. Those wrinkles and tears will not happen in an authentic Louis Vuitton belt.
Like the stitching's quality.
And when you get it and it's real,
everything.
And you do see like, I don't know, like the whole, like it has a shine to it, everything. It's a luxury item. The thread, the stitching that they put together, the time and effort, it was definitely more. So therefore it cost more. But how much more should it really cost? How much more should that Louis Vuitton belt really cost than my polo belt? See, that's what, because the gap is so outrageous. Like you can literally go from like paying like, $90 for a nice polo belt to cashing out $1,400. Yeah. Like $1,400 like out the door for a Louis Vuitton belt. So you kind of have to ask yourself, like, am I really paying like super quality or am I paying for the name? And most of the time, yeah, you're paying for the name. Like, it's not.
Because you're paying for the name because you want people to know or think that you can afford it or think that it makes you higher class just because you have it or makes you viewed as, better.
You know what's so crazy? So I have met some people that they don't want the logos on it.
Yeah.
But they won't. They say they do feel better about themselves. Like, man, I just like when I wake up and that expensive just stuff on me, man. You feel good about yourself.
See, like, but there's a reason why all this stuff was expensive in the first place. Whether that now we live in a place where, okay, it's expensive because it's an item where you look at them and they're like, oh man, they're flexing right now. Like you can physically see that. But I feel like there was a whole time when people bought this shit on the fact that it is quality. All this other shit is like just cheap fabrics and cheap stitching that comes apart. But these Louis Vuitton stuff, the reason why they set themselves apart is because it is quality. Like would you rather buy 3 suits that will last you 10 years, or would you rather buy one suit that's gonna last you a lifetime? That stitching, it ain't gonna thread out.
Yeah, and I mean, even I do feel like it was always. I feel like quality definitely did play into it a lot more before, but I do feel like it was always like a social status separation. Yeah. So in the world, everything from the Rolexes to the Benzes to So like, yeah, even Benz. Let's take Benz for example. Like, let's say 70s. You know, you got the Benz. It's like, how? What are you doing? Like, what do you do? Are you like a doctor or something? Or are you like famous or something? Huge. Now it's been so many trades. It's been so many, people, grandfathers blessing their kids that somebody could have a Benz from the year 2000, got like 200,000 miles on it. And when they jump in their car and step outside, I mean, it looks good. Like, that looks good, they're flexing. And people are like, dang, bro, I ain't seen you forever. You got the Benz, I see you out here.
Yeah.
But guess what? You know what still has value? The car might not have value, but those parts, buy a cheap Benz and break apart. You will find out. You will suffer. Because those parts not going to cost the same as a Ford. Those parts not going to cost the same as a Pontiac.
You have to get shipped, all that crazy. That shit's crazy.
And that's the other part. Yeah, like I said, you might not even be able to find those parts in your state. Like it's so crazy that like people are doing this with Benzes, people are doing this with Jaguars. What's another car, like luxury car, like even I would say even like the Vipers in this alley.
I feel like BMWs as well. Like my buddy's sister had a BMW and she got it. She spent all this money on it. It fucking broke down, and her ass couldn't afford to fix it because the parts were so expensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but it's that whole idea. Like, I'm riding in the Benz down the street. I wanted this car since I was 5.
Right.
I can't afford the new one, but I will pump fake it out. Like 200,000 miles. Yes, sir. Cash me out. And then they leave the parking lot with the car, and it's like you can't even afford to maintenance this car. Like, that's just like being real. Right. It happens all the time. But it's a lot of things like that, like where people just, it's the social status. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like this. Like, a lot of people, not all people, but a lot of people would rather buy one like black Gucci suit in the corporate world and wear that Gucci suit and just like keep washing it, then like go to Walmart or like Walmart, Goodwill or whatever and just like figure it out, buy a couple, suits in different colors. Cause that's just how people are. People are like, I'm going to work in my Gucci suit. Like once I get paid a couple more times, like, I'll figure it out. But if I go to work in my Gucci suit, like I feel like that corporate boss. I'm that boss person.
Yeah. And I think that's like the fine line though, is like that person's buying one Gucci suit. Is that wrong? I don't think it's wrong because that suit's probably gonna last them forever. Whereas somebody that they're like, all right, well, I need that Gucci suit. Oh, man, people are gonna think I'm like cheap. I can only afford one Gucci suit. All right, maybe I'll just like, get a credit card, buy another one. Oh man, like now I need that like Louis belt.
I just say like, we all know what makes sense and what doesn't when we wake up and we look at our bank accounts.
Yeah.
So what's right or wrong is highly subjective, just depending on you. When you get paid, the bills that you have coming, and you can make sense out of things, and sometimes you can't make sense. And to the people that, it's way above their budget, like, just think about it for a second. Like, it's okay to sometimes go to Walmart and get something. Like,
yeah.
Like, say if say it's like a little like party, a little function coming up, but you're not highly invested into it. It's cool. Just get a $5 shirt, $12 shirt from Walmart.
Bro, I fuck with the Walmart socks.
And you be you're gonna be straight. Like, it's not that big a deal. Obviously, like, if it is like, your wedding day, I mean, I'm not highly against it, but I would say, like, I don't think you should be at Walmart, like, for your wedding clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I feel like it's like a whole, you got to put respect into it. This is a big thing. You're already paying all this money. You might as well just get something decent. Like, you don't have to spend a lot of money on stuff to still flex. Like, I have a Michael Stranham suit, and like, it's pretty nice. It was only $100, but I get compliments all the time on it.
Right. That's how it is.
And it's crazy because it's literally only $100.
Yes. I mean, me personally, I pop up like everywhere and shop so I'm going everywhere. I'm going to the mall. I'm going to, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. I'm going to like the outlets, like Tommy Outlet, Polo Outlet, and I usually come out with like a super dope outfit because I'm just the type of person like, let's see what everybody has to offer. Like, where some people are kind of just like, hey, I'm going to the mall, I'm about to go to
Yep.
Dillard's and get robbed. Basically, that's
Really?
honest. That's what's happening when you go in like Dillard's. Like they probably robbed you. Like
They did no 100%. They definitely did. Like that's one other thing. People do not take advantage of these thrift stores, man. Like, bro, I found the most unique vintage Tommy Polo whatever for the low, and that no one has, man. Like people are not taking advantage of these. Like you don't have to have a lot of money to look fresh.
yeah,
That's the problem. But social media, celebrities, these fashion companies, they want you to spend your money. They want you to buy often. They want that fast fashion where you're just shoveling out money that you don't probably have because they think you got to look this certain way or look this part.
When things get crazy, is to go back to like what's fashion, what's in, who controls it, who makes it happen. Is when we look at the Kanye brand as a whole, especially for clothing. So he takes the whole like homeless person, gritty, cuts in the shirt, and waxes. Like, so it's kind of like influence is crazy.
It is.
Because it happens. Like, even when I literally watched him. I remember when he dropped the Kanye West t-shirt. If I'm correct, they were either 1,000 a piece or they were 10,000 a piece, and he made a select amount. And granted, some people might be like, well, it was collectible, but even in the sense of just offer your name, like you're able to do that. It's like crazy.
Yeah, see, I know, especially with Kanye though, he puts it as like a piece. His thing is like, oh, it's a piece of art.
Well, I remember when Kanye got into like the huge argument where he basically, so his whole thing was he didn't understand why he couldn't have a store in France. According to him, he had the funds, the investments, and he made it two things. He made it as basically he was especially getting dissed and backlashed and not allowed in that circle because he was black. But then he said it wasn't even like a black thing. He was like, he felt like it was because he was American. Like, so his whole thing was he wanted to go, it's this big thing where I guess like it's like the Gucci stores and the Armani stores, like the official stores on a strip. And, he had everything together. And he was like, it's open space. Like, why can't I get approved and be allowed to be in this circle and, drop my stuff for like these expensive prices? And he said, like, he thought like what you typically think was like, dang, it's because I'm black. Yup, they got me. And he said the more he resonated, it's because I'm American. But they don't want American people to get in that circle.
Well, think about it. Like, these are stores that are worn by. So Yeezy's not even targeting the same people that actually go to these Gucci stores, right? People that are going to these Gucci stores and like physically going in there buying stuff, they're buying fucking suits. These guys are billionaires going in there. These guys are like multimillionaires going in there. Like, this brand is privileged. It's been around. Whether he's American or not American, I feel like that would actually kind of harm that original location a little bit. If you think of the fact that, like, is Yeezy's really close to Gucci in the pure artistry, the pure cycle that they've been around? Like, Yeezy's a fashion icon. Yeezy's a fashion icon. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Gucci, Louis, these are mega fashion companies. Like, these are people that are making, like, billionaires are rocking this fucking handmade Gucci suit. Like, no kid from our area in Cleveland's gonna buy a handmade Gucci suit or ever even fathom going in the store and buying a Gucci suit off the shelf.
Yeah, I mean, so it was a lot of arguments about like, so even with stuff like that, it was kind of like the whole idea of like, if I had the space, I could create the new opportunities. You can see the Kanye West suits. You can see the expansion, but without me having like the space and opportunity, things are the way that they are. Which is it was basically based off of like, you see that I have, great sales, and you see that I'm able to influence the culture. But for me, if I was in this space, I would do better. That's basically what it was. It's kind of like if it's kind of like an artist telling somebody like, okay, listen, you see, I know how to paint. I'm like really good. But I promise, like if I had a better canvas, like I would be just as good as y'all. Which is, highly debatable. I mean, he could be completely wrong, he could be completely right. One day we might know, or we might not. He might just like, suck it up, continue, thriving in America, and that's just how it is. And maybe, but my whole thing that I always look at is like, I don't get why, what's the word? I just feel like it's successful stuff in America that's popping that should get more like credibility. But it's this whole like saying or quote or whatever that people often like things that are basically like stuff is more loved when it's far away. So, yes. Which is why the idea of like Americans liking foreign name brands would make sense.
Right.
Because when I look at it, like, if we being honest, Tommy, cold. Michael Kors, cold. Nike does a hell of a job every year. Even when I was looking at like Michael Kors was, I don't know if it went through, but like, they were really, really trying to buy Versace. So that just shows you like, Americans they're doing stuff too, like in the fashion industry. Like we need to stop like overlooking like what we have and start, giving them like those big names the same type of respect that we give Gucci, we give Louis Vuitton, we give Armani. Like the like Ralph Lauren works hard. Like the business, like that's an American business. That's a quality brand. That's everywhere. He makes everything. But even when you look at like Purple Label, that's a more like that's a more like higher stitching of polo for the more like expensive crowd. And like you said, Tommy, what? Like, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of things get overlooked. And when I seen like Michael Kors was about to buy Versace, I'm like, people like, how is that possible? Like, Michael Kors can't be making that much money, but he is. Like, he is.
Yeah, but this is exactly though. They're on different tiers though, because whether money income, I don't think matters. But you can't tell me that Tommy Hilfiger is in the same name with Gucci. Like they're not in the same level. Same as Yeezy. Yeezy would be more likely on the same level as Polo and Hilfiger. Like, they're more affordable brands, but they're still upper brands.
Yeah.
Like, you can go in a Tommy store and buy something.
Yeah.
And not spend over $100. Like, you could go buy something for $60.
Well, so
but can you do that to Gucci store? I highly doubt it.
The whole difference is that... See, but it's weird because it's like... Because in the sense of comparing, it's like they offer both. So,
but Gucci doesn't offer both. Like Gucci's not going there selling $60 T-shirts. Like, so they're selling like $1,000 shirts.
Yeah, so it's in a sense of just like, I don't know. It's like the fact that they're offering both. I don't know. It's better or worse. What makes the most sense? Because it's kind of like you have the luxury version of these stores,
right? You do.
And in Gucci, you only have the luxury version of the store.
But that's why I think it makes the average consumer place it more highly no matter what. Like say Tommy cut all their outlet stores and you could only get Tommy either, from they raise the price, they cut all the bullshit like little trinkets they have that are cheap. Like they cut the hats, the ski hats, and they only had premium hats available. And you could like the main stores in New York, on the strip, you would place it a little more highly than like shit you could find at like TJ Maxx.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
See, and that's just crazy though, because over time these artists, these icons, they defined that Gucci and Louis Vuitton are higher, and that makes us place it higher.
Yeah.
Like, people talk about Tommy's, people talk about Polo, because, I mean, there are high-end, people love the high-end stuff that they make, and they are quality and stuff, but just that Louis Vuitton, that's like just a cultural just spite. Like, that's the fashion icons right there. Those are like the OGs that will have been respected for like years, 100 years or more. You know? But I definitely think the fashion industry, it is such a crazy concept. All this stuff's coming in and out of style. The idea of what's cool, what's in, is just such a crazy concept that changes so much. And it's just like, it amazes me, honestly. It just amazes me how much things change even within a couple years. Like, jogger pants is crazy. Because, like, it's a crazy concept to think, like, we all wore just like baggy ass sweats.
Honestly, I can't even imagine where fashion is headed.
Yeah.
Because like it just seems like it's stuck right now. And at any moment it could be unstuck. Like
Yeah.
The right people get together and they wear a certain type of clothing and now it's this whole new thing. But I can't even imagine what's next.
Yeah. I think that's just like the future. Like, I can't imagine what's gonna happen next, and I can't imagine. Well, maybe we'll be rocking like big blow up like hoodies, inflatable hoodies or something. That would be crazy. Let's invent that. Trademark TM. Nobody make that shit. Parachute pants, but like a whole bodysuit. That should be crazy.
Like anything, like I don't know, like
We'll never, like, that's the thing, is we'll never know. Somebody out there, an influencer, an icon, or not even an influencer icon, will just start walking it. Someone else will see it. It'll trickle effect, and it'll change the whole era of what we think's like dope. Like the kids, man, we'll be wearing the same old shit. These little kids will be wearing fucking all this crazy looking shit.
Yeah.
And we won't even know. We'll be like, you're wearing that? I'd never seen anybody wear that shit.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good place to stop. I hope all you guys got value out of what we talked about in the fashion trends. And I just want to tell everyone, really think about what you're spending your money on and think about why you're buying it. You know, don't go wasting money you don't have on some like Gucci shit. It ain't gonna make you cooler. Not at all. I mean, make you feel a little better, but it's not all about the flex. As I'm wearing like a Tommy Hilfiger watch, you know. But hey, it happens. But yeah, all right, guys. Thank you for listening and watching the Stirfry. Make sure you guys give us a rating of 5 stars if you enjoyed it, and a review. We'd really enjoy that. Yeah. So I'm Chef T.
I'm with a Spacekid.
And see you next time. Keep it real. Thank you all for listening and joining us on another episode of The Stirfry. All the music was created by Steve Ozell. Check him out on all streaming services at Stevo Music, spelled ST3V30 Music. Also, if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. We'd greatly appreciate it. See you next Tuesday when we sit down and talk to the very talented photographer and videographer, James Dalton. It's going to be a great one and full of content. So see you next week.